Hey, what's up? Good morning. It's about 5:30 or so, but got a call just a couple days ago about a couple that had a Scout that was a project truck, and they just couldn't keep building it. So we had an opportunity to buy it, so we're gonna go drive up to Minneapolis and go look at it. So thought we'd take you along for the ride. This is a new video series we're gonna call Garage Finds, because this one happens to be in a garage. But we got the field finds, garage finds, woods finds. We'll make a lot of fun videos. Just seeing what it's like, you know, checking out Scouts and seeing what's out there. So enjoy the road trip. All right, man, so we've been cranked for a little over an hour and a half. Yeah, just road trip's going good. We're excited to, well, we should get to the owner's house, the seller's house at about 9. And I don't know what to expect, man. It's like we literally got this email and a call a couple days ago. And when you get those calls, you just got to go check it out. So you do your pre-assessment. They sent us 3 photos and looked promising. It's in Minnesota. Most Minnesota trucks, Midwest trucks, are really roached, so it wouldn't be worth necessarily driving 3.5 hours to go check out. But this one had Colorado plates on it and it looked pretty decent, and there's a cool story. So we'll learn about some of the story when we meet the seller. But yeah, going good. Okay, so we made it to Minneapolis, about a 3.5 hour drive, whatever. So we're going to the house, and I just want to kind of prep myself and you guys for what to look for when you buy, or we're thinking about buying a truck, because most owners, and you can't blame them because I do it too, but you're going to tend to take pictures of like the best parts of the vehicle, because you want to present it well and you're trying to sell it. So I'll walk you through some of the things you want to look for your intended purpose. The trucks that we typically buy are the gold standard for us. The trucks we buy is, can we restore it? And we don't typically restore previously repaired trucks. So we're gonna look for that, and we're gonna put that into our value assessment. So anyway, when we get to the house, we'll meet the seller and we'll check out the Scout, see what it looks like. I should try to like show you the pictures that I got, so maybe I'll pull up my phone and make a video. The pictures I got, just so you can see how it looks in the pictures and then what it looks like in reality. Had Colorado plates, like I said, and that's kind of a good thing. Colorado's better than Minnesota. Minnesota and Iowa trucks are 90% of the time are whipped, and we don't buy them for parts because they normally have good hard tops, good windshield frames, different things like that. But yeah, so we'll make an assessment. I'll walk you through the process. We'll hear the story from the owner, and then see if we can make a deal. Check it out. Oh, man, Cujo.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
You're Elizabeth?
I am.
I'm
Nice
Sean.
To
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
This is the whip, huh?
This is our 1978 International
78,
Scout 2.
yeah. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the story of that.
So my husband actually bought this Scout off of his uncle,
Okay.
who got it in the late 90s as a bonus when
so,
he
so
was
in the late 90s.
yeah. And he got it as a bonus when he was helping build houses in Aspen, Colorado.
Okay.
And that was when the Scout was still working. Everything was still good with it.
With the original motor.
I believe so,
Okay.
yeah. And then it stopped working, and it had been sitting in a field in Pueblo, Colorado for 3 years when Nick acquired it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long ago was that?
That was in 2015.
Okay.
And we had it shipped out to Minneapolis in 2017.
And your husband's in the military, right?
Yes.
So he's kind of deploying around or getting moved around.
Exactly. So we move every 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and we knew getting this Scout that we didn't have it up and running by the time we were done here.
That's
we were going to
interesting.
be in a little bit of trouble, and unfortunately we did run out of time.
Yeah. And now you guys are moving, so that's kind of the main reason. 3
Yes.
years time frame.
Yes.
Which happens, like it's just life. Life gets in the way, and
Yeah.
sometimes projects take longer. I think that's
Right.
very normal. But yeah, well, cool. And then these guys reached out to us directly at Anything Scout to come check it out. So first glance, we see this is a 1978, correct? You said. It's got a 1972 grill. It's got like early model parking light lenses. So I think what we'll do is like we'll just pull it out so we can kind of walk around it, and then we'll take a look and see what we can do.
That's the only barrier right there.
Alright, so let's just do kind of a walkthrough. Elizabeth is here, so she'll kind of hear this walkthrough as well. But so first things first, it's non-running. We checked the brakes, it worked, they work. This is obviously not an international engine. This is a Chevy. Nick told me about this, that it's got a rebuilt Chevy 350 adapted in there. Looks like he did a decent job adapting it in there. But at this point, we're looking at the viability of like, would it be worth getting it running and driving like this? Do you go back to an original engine? You have to make all those assessments if you're looking at a truck like this. Again, for us, we don't really mind too much about the drivetrain. Like we're looking at condition can we restore this truck or put it back out into the world. And so we're going to look at rust conditions. So I'll walk you through kind of some of the things to look for. Obviously, take each panel at a time. We're looking at dents. Dents can be difficult to fix. Rust is more difficult to fix, but both can be disqualifiers of like making it a usable panel, for example. So we look at the fenders. You always want to look at like these inner skirts right here and look for telltale signs of like that it's been repaired. These have not been repaired, and they're not rusty, and they're in relatively straight and good condition. So that's a plus. You want to look at the windshield frame. When you see, I mean, it's obviously the truck has been repainted, and you can see like some of the paint is chipping off. I've already committed to buy this truck, so we can chip a little bit of the paint off, but you just to show you, like, you can see there's probably been repainted twice. And there's signs of Bondo, which is not a deal breaker. But just again, you want to see like, is there Bondo there to cover over rust, or is there just a dent? And in this case, it looks like it was just a dent. There is some denting up on here, which probably smacked a tree or something in an off-road situation. So, but that's all stuff to take into consideration, because if you take this truck, from what we know of it right now, to a body shop to paint it, I mean, you're talking an extra 3 to 4 or 5 hours to fix this pillar to make it straight. So that's all stuff that has to be accounted for. Another thing, while we're over here, look for condition of the wing windows. They often crack up in these areas. These are not cracked, and the rubber is decent, so that's good. Door condition, not dented, pretty straight. Let me show you the back side of this door where you really want to look. Again, they're typically, sometimes they can be cracked up in here, but where you really want to look is down this bottom lip. And those back, if that's rusted, that's often where they rust, and they would be, or this seam would be swollen. These doors are in good condition, so that's a good plus on this truck. But here's where we get into the kind of the red flags on this Scout. No offense. These rockers. This rocker is probably not been, it's a little hard to tell, but probably maybe original. It's hard to tell, but it's not sitting correctly. It's definitely got Bondo in it. And there's holes. This line, you see how this quarter panel line doesn't match this rocker line? This has definitely been patched and replaced. So there's Bondo up in here, down into here. Not that that's a deal breaker. That's almost every Scout has rust there. But where we really want to look is in the structure. Because once you get into structural repair, come take a look here. This floor's been patched. Again, most Scouts need repair work. That's not the biggest deal in the world, seeing a kind of a bad patch. But look at this. This denting right here just means that there was at some point some structural damage. You know, it might have been jumped and like bounced down real hard, and something. The body wasn't happy in that impact. Also, if you look at this seam right here, come on over here. This quarter panel is not factory to this. So either this quarter panel's been replaced, and it's rusty, or something's going on there where it's not original. And that's stuff you want to pay attention to. Because a fender and a door, you can unbolt and replace. This, you cannot unbolt the quarter panel. It has to be repaired. So those are all things that I'm taking into consideration when we're talking about the value of this truck. Hardtop on this side looks pretty decent. That's a good thing. I don't know if you can or want to climb underneath, but what I found is on the inside edge of the inner rocker, which is the main structure, this side is not too bad. The driver's side is pretty rusty, so it's gonna need, this truck will need floor pans, cab mounts, wedges, quarters, inner quarter repair. The list is starting to add up. Again, what do you want it for? If you just want to, this truck looks decent, so if you just want to buy it and kind of have something to rip around in, could be a great project. But if you want it to be like actually nice at some point in this life, this is a lot of work. And probably at this point is very borderline if it meets the criteria for like one of our restorations. Tailgate, corner cap, not too bad. The hardtop is cracking apart up in here. Pay attention to that. That's kind of a difficult repair. It doesn't disqualify the hardtop from being useful, but come check this out. This damage up in here, man, that's a lot of time and a lot of work to make this top more than just a covering from the elements. Like if you wanted this to be a restored truck, you're almost better off trying to find a new hardtop, unfortunately. Maybe you could fix it. You definitely can fix it. It's just how much time and effort you want to put into it. This side of the truck is actually a little bit worse than the other side of the truck. This rocker it's clearly been replaced. You see these screws, and like you can actually see a hole right through here. If you look on the back side, this whole inner rocker is pretty gone. This quarter is original. This is all bowed in. It's like a lot of Bondo. And look, this is another critical area. This is not right. So it means that this is rusted out and they just patched over it and painted it. And so, again, not a deal breaker, but it just changes what you how and what you want to use the Scout for as a foundation. So then some in like obviously it's in a state of mechanical fluctuation, if we will. It's mid-process, so like the steering column's not connected, transmission's not connected. Looks like you started doing some decent work on wiring, but there's just a lot of work on this truck. You're talking about a full mechanical kind of finish. But overall, I kind of like it. It's a cool truck. I like that it's a 78, so it's got a Dana 44 front, Dana 44 rear. It's just a, almost like a basket case project where you're just like jumping into a lot of work. It looks like what the previous owner did, or the seller did. It was good job, but it's just a lot of work. So next, we'll talk to Elizabeth. We'll have some fierce negotiation, and I think we're gonna try to make a run at this though. They have the original engine. That doesn't seem like it's a good engine. It's all in parts and pieces, but I think she said they want to get that out of here as well. So we'll load that up too. So yeah, we'll do some negotiation, tell you the answer, and then we'll start loading stuff up. Okay, so this is the original engine, 345. It looks pretty whipped, man. It's like, there's like squirrel juice in there, and sand and dirt. It's not really something that's going to be savable, but there's some good parts that can help keep a couple more Scouts on the road. And they're moving, so it's part of the deal. They asked for us to take it, so fortunately they have a cherry picker here, so we're gonna take it. Just loading up the parts. Sweet jerry can. These seats are also good. We'll be able to reupholster these seats. Check these out. These are actually super hard to find. A little bit of dingage in there, but 1972 chrome grill surrounds, matte, Mooger, you know what I'm talking about. These things are hard to find. So that's a good find. Let's make sure they don't get dented in the back of the truck. Okay, one more tip, dude. And Dan, Binder Boneyard, you know this better than most, but always check when you're trailering a truck that's like this state. Make sure the hardtop is bolted down. I guess Dan just recently was towing a truck home and he heard like this Velcro ripping sound and the hardtop flew off on the highway. It happened to me once a long time ago out in Connecticut, but anyway, so make sure the top's bolted down. Big boat anchor. Okay, so got the motor loaded up, got all the stuff loaded up. Now it's time to do the fun task of loading up the truck, and I came ill prepared. Our trailer does not have a winch, and we don't have a come-along or a hand winch, so what we have is ratchet straps. So there's a technique where we'll use 2 ratchet straps and just kind of keep inching them forward, and Elizabeth will help, and it'll be fun. And then we'll figure it out. So we're actually going to use the driveway, kind of the topography of the driveway to help us. So I'm going to go hook up the trailer, and I'll be back, and then we'll hope that we don't do something terrible. Okay, so this is I don't know where I learned this. I can't remember. It's been too many times. But if you get 2 just regular ratchet straps, which you use to hold the vehicle down, you can use them in unison to actually winch a truck up a trailer, or I guess out of like a predicament. So if all you have is a ratchet strap, it's a pretty good technique, but it's effective. Okay. We actually can probably try it with 1 since we have park. That's basically it. Now we're just gonna try to winch. But now we're in park, so I gotta take it out of park. Double click. If you ever come back down. So, transaction successfully completed. And one of my favorite parts about the Scout community, whether they're like past Scout owners or current Scout owners, or like Nick and Elizabeth just having to move on from the project, they're just the neatest people. So Elizabeth, thank you. Nick, thank you. We're gonna put the Scout to good use. We did our safety check. Straps are good. The vehicle does the brakes work, and it goes into park, so I put it into 4 low and in park. Truck's loaded up. Until next time, this was an Anything Scout garage find video. Like it, subscribe it if you care to, or you can give it a thumbs down. It doesn't really bother me. But thanks for watching, supporting what we do. We'll keep doing more content like this. We're gonna do garage finds, barn finds, kind of played out, but that's a true thing. Field finds, I'm really excited about that one. We have some cool field find groupings of Scouts that we have purchased and are trying to purchase. So we'll take you along for the ride, and Scout World, keep at it.